Hi, it's Zeke with the Eastside Church of Christ in Baytown, Texas. Thanks for joining us for another edition of Looking Up. You know, before I became a full-time gospel preacher, I worked for some 20 years or so for a Caterpillar heavy equipment dealer in New Mexico. And there were times when we'd get to go to the Caterpillar manufacturing plant in Illinois and observe some of the processes that they went through. And one time I remember we went to a foundry where they manufactured all kinds of engine parts for the heavy equipment. They would manufacture anything from casting the engine blocks to the highly refined small parts that are constantly moving in a heavy equipment engine. And we were told when we were going through that tour that different metals purify at different temperatures. And of course, all of that is important to the process, and we got to see some of that. During the heating, we got to see where the dross would curl up to the surface and then be scraped off time and time again to purify that metal. It would be separated from the red-orange, highly heated metal. And that process was important to make sure that they got it right if that piece was going to have the quality it needed to perform under intense stress. After all, those engine parts were not only constantly moving, they were constantly moving in high heat. So when I thought about that, I didn't think about it much at the time, but as I think back on it, I think that whole thing is true for you and me. See, God purifies us with fiery trials of different temperatures in order to purify us, in order to release the corruption from within us and make us stronger, higher quality disciples. But you know as well as I do that the process isn't easy, is it? It hurts. And sometimes that purifying process can be felt pretty acutely. You can probably think of events or incidences in your own life that have hurt, but in the end have actually helped to make you a better person and hopefully a stronger disciple, a better Christian. Maybe you've gone through some kind of disease that has maybe weakened your body, but in the end has strengthened your spirit. Maybe you've gone through some financial crisis that has left your wallet thinner, but your spirit stronger. You see, the last couple of months that we've been going through in this present distress with the changes in our society, the restrictions in our gatherings, the relinquishments of some of our freedoms, maybe some of those things have helped you to be taught some things about yourself. Maybe they've exposed some of your weaknesses. Maybe you've taken steps to address those weaknesses. The Bible tells us in Proverbs 17 and in verse 3 that the crucible is for silver, the furnace is for gold, and Yahweh tests hearts. Well, maybe God has been testing your heart in these last couple of months. And maybe you found some things that were hurtful to admit and even maybe shameful to acknowledge. But with the admittance and the acknowledgement, you found a way through God and His Word to address those weaknesses and to become stronger. See, it's good to recognize the pain, even though it hurts. But it's better to know that by it, and with God's help, He will release the dross that hampers your character. So if you're in the middle right now of refining, well, stick with it and know that someday you'll celebrate the result. God's Word tells us in 1 Peter 1 verses 6 through 7, "In this you greatly rejoice, even though now for a little while, if necessary, you have been distressed by various trials, so that the proof of your faith, being more precious than gold which is perishable, even though tested by fire, may be found to result in praise and glory and honor at the revelation of Jesus Christ." Look up to the one who can refine you, who can purify you, and who can release the dross from your life. Thanks for joining us for another edition of Looking Up today, and I hope you have a good day. God bless you.